Donuts. Take a look at the different textures and the different colors that people can use to decorate their donuts. Let's get started on this really cool drawing project. Now, beginning with the end in mind, the cover of your donut box can look like this with different pressures, textures, as well as color mixing. Let's begin with a practice paper. On your sheet of paper, I want you to do some experimenting with colors. For example, the first column, I want you to focus in on pressure, how hard you're pressing with your crayon. Column 2, the different textures. It tells me to put dots, dashes, and create my own. And lastly, color mixing, where you take 2 colors of crayons and mix them together. So let's get started, shall we? When you get your piece of paper, the first box should be a light pressure. The second box says medium pressure. The third box is hard pressure. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm following the directions that it says underneath each box. Then the second column talks a little bit about putting on different types of textures into my project. So the first one is dots. The second one is dashes. Kind of reminds me of sprinkles, doesn't it? And the third one can be creating your own. What kind of pattern or texture do you want to do when you take your crayons and put texture into your project? Once you've finished the second column, the third column is color mixing. So I'm taking a crayon, pick a color, and another color that you think would work really well with that first color. So I took yellow and mixed orange with it. Now I've got a really cool yellow-orange project. The second box I started with pink and added a little bit of purple with it. I love color mixing with crayons. The third box, I'm starting out with an orange, and then I'm going to take my second color of red and mix the two together. I'm also thinking about pressure when I'm using my crayons. Now that I've got my project completed, let's get started making my donut box. Line up the corners of your paper and fold it in half. On the front part of your paper, go ahead and use the square rectangular template that you can use to design the front part of your donut box. Feel free to design and decorate your donut box however you want to in pencil. Just kind of get an overall plan of what you want the cover of your donut box to look like. Okay, now that I've got my donut cover of the box ready, let's go ahead and make the donuts on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and take one of my cups and trace around the overall shape of that circle. Please do this 6 times. So I did 3 in the top row, 3 in the bottom row. I also am using a circle on the inside so that it looks like the donut holes, kind of like those images that we saw at the very beginning. I also thought I wanted each of my donuts to look like they've got some frosting on the top, so I created a nice wavy line going around the circle to make it look like frosting. Now, once I've got that done, remember the 3 columns on our practice sheet? Pressure, lights and darks, using the same color but using different pressures, light, medium, and dark. So that's kind of what I'm doing with my crayons right now. Some parts I'm pressing down hard, while other parts I'm pressing down lighter. I also sometimes like the way that it looks when I outline it with black. That is totally your choice. You can see right now I'm using my crayon to create pressure, and I'm deciding if I want a little bit of black on it or not. Just think back of what you did on your practice sheet. Column 2 says textures. So while you have your practice sheet there, you might want to refer back to and use the same kinds of textures, or like in that third box where you could create your own, feel free to experiment and try creating your own textures too. I love the way this is starting to look. They really look tasty. Now that I've got my pressure of lights and darks, my textures of different patterns, mixing, remember, is that third column where I took one color and mixed it with another color, pink and purple, orange and red, and then in the bottom donut, I'm starting out with some green and adding another color with blue on top of it. I love the way this is starting to look. It was so fun mixing and trying new things making my crayons. Now that I've got my donuts done, I'm going to go back to the front part of my donut box and design and decorate that any way that I want. If you want to continue some of that color mixing or patterns that you put onto your project, or think about pressure, now that we've practiced with our donuts, you might want to use that knowledge on how you decorate the front of your box. Feel free to use your markers as well as your crayons to decorate your donut box. Thanks for watching. Happy art making!